Hi everyone, how are you all doing today? This episode we're going to be putting a cap on the top of this twisted pier that we did a few episodes ago. I'll leave a link to that video down in the description if you haven't checked it out yet. So with this one, I'm not really quite sure what's going to be happening with it, because I'm going to do something to it. Well, I have a vision in my head that I'm going to try and do something to it that I've never done before. I've probably seen a variation of it maybe once or twice. So this is not going to be quite as much a tutorial as a let's see what we can build it kind of episode. So there's going to be a lot of working that stuff out on the fly and just winging it and making it up as I go along, really. So very simply, let's just set you guys up and get going and see what we can make out of this. Well, so the first thing I'm going to do is get this little bit of slate and just pop it over the hole in the middle of this pier, because I'm going to be trying to build a pyramid on top of this. I'm going to do an oversailing course of about 20 mil all the way around, just 3 bricks and some cuts, 4 bricks and some cuts, and then I'm going to infill it and then try and build a pyramid. So I want to fill this hole in so nothing falls down there, basically, and that's step one. So from here, that's probably the only bit I really knew about. The rest of it, like I said, I'm just going to make up as I go along and see what we come up with. So let's make a start. Now generally when you do pointed piers, pier caps like so, this is how they are generally done. Like this, in a straight line, and it's not in a pyramid, it's just like a little pitched roof almost on top of a pier. Now, because I don't want to do this, because I want to do it like a pyramid, as you can tell that these two here stick over generally the same amount, but these two stick over a country mile more. That's because I'm going to have to mitre them together. So these two are in the position where I'd like them, and all I need is these two to just be moved that way by sort of that amount, so that basically means these will touch corners and these will touch corners over here. So that is quite a difficult thing. I knew I'd have to mitre them all at some point, but again, this is something that I've never done, and this is essentially what brickwork is all about. You find a little problem and you work out how to fix it, and I think it will come up quite nicely. And then all I have to do is again infill these edges here with mitres, and I'll just put a little peak on the top here. That'll probably have to do on my mitre as well. So it looks like the grinder is going to get a fair bit of use today. I'm using a small grinder, this small grinder, just because it's easier to cut quickly these funny little shapes. Right, so I'm going to try and get a few more cuts and I'll come back to you in a second. I think it should look pretty good. Right, okay, after a couple of hours of messing about with the grinder, we have all the cuts ready to go. And I'll tell you what, I now know why you don't see this very often. That's purely because what a pain it was cutting all these little bits. Absolute pain. I've tried to bond it to these large bricks here, and you got these pieces in here. I don't quite know how this is going to look when it's done, and also the top, I need to cut a little bit for the top. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay all these now and see how it looks. I think it's going to look quite nice actually, but yeah, like I said, I can see why people don't do this. it's just so time consuming. In hindsight, it probably would be nicer to have it up here a bit higher, but this is what we're going with, and I'm just gonna, like I said, never done this before, never been done. I'm just gonna do this and see how it turns out. Right, okay, without further ado, let's lay these fiddly little bricks. Right, there we go. There's the finished, almost sort of pyramid. Is it perfect? No. Is it a little bit wobbly? It is a bit, but for a build that I have never done before in my life, I'm very happy with the outcome. It bows a little bit up and down here, which in hindsight, looking at it, these bricks here I would have cut flush with this corner here rather than going down a little bit. If you can see under the bottom, I don't know, the shadows a little bit there. I don't know if you can see under there, but all of these are cut very sharp and this is a little bit blunter. Now, there's one thing that I would change. Two, I'd pick a day where it doesn't rain every 5 minutes. It's sunny now, but it has been raining on and off all day pretty much. But enough of the excuses. On the whole, if I take a step back and we have a look at it, it almost looks like a twisty mushroom. Now, I quite like that. It's not bad. And again, I see exactly why you don't see this very often, because building that was very fiddly, very time consuming, and I must admit, very difficult. But again, I think bricklaying, you should always test yourself. You should constantly be testing yourself, be pushing yourself for what you can do with your trowel. And this is a case of testing myself. But again, I'm very happy with the way it's turned out. Twisted pier with a nice little mushroomy thing on the top. It does look a little bit flat. I would like to, next time if I do one, I'd have it pointed up higher so it looks more like a twisty space rocket. But on the whole, yeah, I'm extremely happy with that. Right, there we go guys, one mushroom top twisty space rocket of a pier. I quite enjoyed building that. Very tricky, but I did enjoy that completely. Please do leave a comment down below if there's anything you'd like me to tackle. Again, I'll say that these are all going to be advanced builds on this series, so if there's anything that you find that's quite difficult or very taxing to have a go at brickwork wise, then please do just pop it down there and I'll see if I can add it into the video. Right, with that being said, please do leave a like down below if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you guys next time for some more advanced brickwork. So take care, have a good one, see you later.